It's the final week for 2015 Sonic September, and now I'm at the bottom of the barrel, going over Sonic Labyrinth. Just like Sonic Drift, it strays from the standard move left to right and defeat Robotnik while collecting Link's formula, and instead goes for an overhead isometric puzzle game, resembling, well, a maze. Hence the Labyrinth portion of the title. I'm not sure on the story, so we'll skip that part and go right into the gameplay. Sonic emerges from a gate and is tasked with finding 3 keys in each stage. The stages themselves remind me of Sonic 3D, which I did like, but the keys can be difficult to find, which is to be expected. Some keys are in plain view, typically in the corner of a map. Others are hidden inside enemies, which force you to destroy them to reveal the key. Once you find a key, you hold on to it. However, if you get damaged, the keys are flung from Sonic's possession, forcing you to run around to collect them again. They usually don't go too far, but it's still a pain to grab them a second time. In fact, these keys are essentially your ring system. There are no rings, at least not in the standard stages. When you reach the boss stage, you enter what I originally thought was a bonus level. Sonic is falling down a large ramp at a high rate of speed, collecting as many rings as possible. If you grab 100, you'll earn an extra life. I can't help but notice that the rings seem to have a really weird sound effect though. Anyway, once you hit the bottom of the ramp, Sonic enters the tube and enters the boss fight. The only fight I bothered with wasn't too hard. All I had to do was keep ricocheting off of walls and it was done. I'm assuming later bosses are more difficult, but honestly, I lost all interest in the game and didn't really care. You might be screaming at me at this point, saying things like, "Oh my god, you noob, this game is easy, why can't you play it all the way through, what the fuck, Raffle?" Well, let me explain what really turned me off on this game, and why I think it's pretty crappy. The speed elements. Sonic can't jump, but instead just enters a speed roll to maneuver around quickly. But if you want more precision in your traveling, you're going to want to just run. Using the rolling moves, Sonic becomes a bit harder to control, because at this point he only turns slowly, and will typically start bouncing off of walls like a pinball. But that's not the problem. It's the standard traveling. You don't always want to roll around, because then you can miss important things like possibly the keys or smaller pathways. But when you're not rolling around, Sonic moves painfully slow. I'd even go as far as to say it's uncharacteristically slow. I mean really, why the hell is Sonic just walking casually? Doesn't he realize that there's only a small amount of time to clear each stage? I get that there's speed when rolling, but hell, even in the other Game Gear games, there's more speed than this when Sonic is just moving as normal. It annoys the hell out of me. Sonic is either moving at a crawl or rolling uncontrollably. This is unacceptable. There are some enemies in the game, and the only way to defeat them is to roll into them. But this requires a bit more control to actually strike them. I don't get why Sega couldn't have just put a jump mechanic in the game, because it would have made defeating enemies that much easier. Thankfully, there's not a lot of them, and some of the environmental hazards, like lava, are much more dangerous because they're harder to avoid. Yet when you do take damage, all it does is lower your time. If you have keys and get hurt by an enemy, you'll lose the keys, much like the rings. If you run through lava, the timer will decrease at a much faster rate. There's only 2 ways to increase your time limit. One is to grab a key for the first time. The other is to find one of the strangely indicated power-ups and hope it's an hourglass. It seems like the power-ups, which are denoted by colored triangles, and not monitors, which is another strange design choice, cycle through all your options. So if you know how many and what color the power-up you want is, you can patiently wait and grab it. If you get frustrated by the game's directional control, you can change it in the options. You can choose from slant or the defaulted option. Straight? Really, Sega? You can't even fucking spell straight? 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 Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm done. I guess Sonic Labyrinth isn't as bad as Sonic Drift, but it's hard to say. I dislike both games. Sonic Labyrinth is easier to play, but it's just too slow for my liking. Plus, I just don't prefer puzzle games like this. It was a unique test, but in the end, I just found Sonic's walking speed to piss me off. It actually got me in the mood to just go and play Sonic 3D. That's a much better isometric game. Anyway, you might enjoy this game, but I don't. I just find Sonic to move either too slowly, or when moving quickly, too hard to control. I cannot recommend this one. Final score? 5 out of 10. And that does it for Sonic September. And next month, it's Halloween time, so it's time to get some October Halloweeny reviews. Halloweeny? Yeah, I just said that, didn't I? Oh well. You'll just have to stick around to see what I have in store. This is Reaper. Facebook.com/ReapersReviews. Happy pragging.